Welcome to Gen Z Insider.
You live and you learn, and you kind of figure it out from there. And again, whatever you run into, I've probably done it. I know, Katie. You always bark at me. I've probably run. So I should be able to help. So this is only a one-time setup. Once it's set up, we'll never have to do this again.
So cool looking, right?
Yeah, I was telling Sky, when it's printing, you just want to be careful not to touch it. It gets very hot. Everybody's all interested. They must smell my dog.
They're very friendly. Look, she's trying to give him kisses while he's doing it. Okay, Jazzy, we're not.
It's all good. Alright?
Yeah.
Again, you're never going to have to worry about it unless you move it, and I'm sure if you move it, you're going to call me anyway.
Yeah.
So, basically, these are all individual computer parts.
Yeah.
This handles your extruder. So this cable here is actually the same cable here. So your extruder is plugged in to get power, right? So this is the controls for the 3D printer. On this side, this handles your fans for cooling down the filaments. There's actually one here and one here.
Yeah.
And then this one handles the plate to move back and forth. That's basically it. It's pretty simple, alright? So, as you can see,
You know how level is the bubble's got to be in the
it's
middle.
not level. So,
You see it?
Oh, yeah.
you see how it's not level?
Yeah.
So the first thing you should usually do, take a stick. You want to make it so the bubble's in the center. Now, as you this way, so that way you can swing down. These are the x-axis that I was talking about. So as you move one side up,
Oh, there goes the bubble.
the bubble goes into the middle.
You have to move them on your own, or they'll move.
So on this, because we're still trying to set it up, you have to move it on your own.
Oh, but they will when it needs to.
Yeah, there's a leveling plate, a glass plate to this. It's going to have to be leveled a little bit higher or lower when we start
People
to.
not have that.
So, I explained it to this guy, but I'll
Oh, I'm
explain
sorry,
it.
go ahead.
No, that's fine. So this is an aluminum bed.
Right.
This heats up. Now, at a certain temperature, aluminum starts to bend. When you bend during a print, it happens. Your print's supposed to adhere flat, like a piece of wood. Think of it.
Yeah.
Now that the plate's starting to bend, think of it as it's dipping a little bit. So as it's adhering to the top, there's a gap in the bottom. So if you're building something high, like so I built this. So if I was building this and there was a gap at the bottom, it would start to vibrate, and that would cause your print to screw up.
Oh, I get it.
Now
Okay.
adding the glass melts at a higher temperature,
Right,
so it doesn't move so much, and that's what we're.
What is
that's
that
the
thing
goal.
anyway? Just
This is a good beginner printer. Now, when I say beginner, think of it like you play sports,
Yeah, yeah.
golf, baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
So in the beginning, I could equate it to golf because that's what I play. Oh wait, by the way, this is a thermal pad. This is what holds the glass to the plate. So I think of it like golf. When you play golf for the first time, you're not playing with the best clubs. There's always something better, but you have to learn all your issues first. So now.
So you don't need the best printer to start off with.
No, and honestly, I have some samples that I can show you guys. I sent stuff to Milan, and he can't believe
This
I'm
one.
building height-wise instead of actually just building, small little
Yeah,
butterflies.
like that little butterfly,
yeah.
right? Little
So-
flat. So he can't believe it probably.
Yeah, because
You're
normally
getting height out of it.
most people will be printing things so it prints this way.
Right. But
I
you-
print them so it comes out
Wow.
that way. And the reason there's better reasons for this because and I'll go over this. It's called brim and raft. Those are the two words that you want to learn. Brim and raft is what holds your piece to the bed. Now brim is like a circle that goes around the pattern a couple of times
Oh, is that you have to peel it off?
that you
Yeah,
peel off.
that's
That
the
was
game
on
with
that butterfly.
Yeah.
Now raft and brim is one of the easier ones to come off. Raft is a little more harder to get off. Now if you're doing like Gru or something,
Yeah.
say there's like an action figure, you might want to use raft because that actually secures it a little bit better to the plate, but it's harder to get off. Now in the beginning I would suggest brim all the way, but
Yeah.
you're gonna once you get the hang of this, you're gonna figure out more stuff than I will, because I'm running out of things to print. Honestly, I've done action figures, I've done Pokemon stuff. The sky's the limit. So basically, it did 4 corners, and now it says okay. It's gonna start to go back. I'm going to level it one more time just to make sure. And again, what we're looking for is the paper to not move, but you don't want it to be like that jamming that we saw before. So what's it doing now? Basically, it's putting it back in its starting position. Filament needs a higher temperature, or actually this one's the lower temperature burn.
She's paying attention.
That's fine. So the extrusion temperature is between 180 and 210. The PLA I usually gets like 230. So some of the settings that I have here, you're gonna have to adjust so that way you can get it into this extruder and then have it start coming out. So the first thing we want to do, since there's nothing here, we want to move this, which is the extruder, up a little bit so that way at least we can see when the filament starts coming down.
Yeah.
It's not getting all over the place. So you want to go to, we'll start, Tools, Move. Everything works off of X, Y, Z, and E axis. X, Y, Z. So you just want to move this up. Just enough so that way you can see what's going on. At this time you can move the plate too, so basically when the filament comes, it's not just going all over the place.
The filament is what's going to make the
Filament
product?
is this. This is the
I
plastic.
know, that's the plastic.
Yeah, so it's called filament. Now, just to let you guys know that it gets kind of messy as it's printing or over time.
What does that mean, messy? Where, like, shoots around? What?
Well,
what
no,
does messy mean?
messy. You might find pieces of filament, like little balls around the place, vacuum cleaner, whatever. You'll also notice in the back, when it slides back and forth, my biggest problem is
Oh my god, no, those scissors don't probably work.
Perfect. So you want it to be pretty flat when you're cutting it. Alright? So now, what do we do next? That's a good question. We're going to go back here and start at the tools, alright? We're going to go to where it says filament. Gives you two options, to load and unload. Because you have no filament in there,
So you
it's got to load. So it's going to take this up to 200 degrees Celsius. Again, remember, not Fahrenheit, Celsius. So
Celsius.
that's a lot hotter than what you really think it is. So you don't want to touch the extruder at any point going forward without any kind of gloves. Don't be stupid and be like, hey, there's a piece under there, let me get... No, believe me, I've done all that. Just remember temperature-wise. Think of it as, you'll learn after you get nicked or burnt. It's not going to kill you. It's just going to be a little bit of a
It's a
sting.
warning, yeah.
It's like Pavlov's dog. So what'll happen is, right now your extruder, which is ET, is going up to 200 degrees. It takes maybe a minute or two at that temperature. We can start feeding the filament, and Sky, if you want to stand up, into that hole. Alright, so what we're going to do is, we're going to hold down that hole, push the filament in when it gets to that temperature. And what'll happen is, as it's getting to that temperature, when we start putting it in, if we put it in the right way, you're going to see filament start spooling out from the bottom. And you could tell when it's in there. As you see, filament's coming out from the top, going in through the bottom, and it's working. So once that's at there, you're going to hit back. Now it's going to stop with the filament side, alright? So you don't have to load or unload filament unless you run out, or if you want to change color during a print. My suggestion
How
is...
much did that one take that you made? Like, just say, just for instance,
What do you
in
mean?
the filament?
This is a drill bit. Sometimes the filament gets stuck. Hasn't happened to me yet in about 3.5, 4 months that I've been doing it. You don't have to worry about it, but keep it somewhere where you're not going to lose it. Because if this does get clogged, what happens is you're going to have to turn on the extruder to heat it up, basically. And you're going to take this little drill bit and turn it in there.
Where are we going to stick it in that hole?
Right in that hole at the bottom. Right where
Because
that
you know,
little
mom's
piece
going
is.
to be the one cleaning it.
If mom's
No.
doing it, you have to be very careful while you're doing it because it gets very hot. This is where I burnt my fingers before, only because I'm stupid and I like to try everything that I'm doing.
And I'm going to, if it was stuck. So the
You can
filament
call
would
me.
be kind of clogged.
Yeah,
And we would say, oh, it's kind of clogged. And that's what it is.
Here's where you find it. Most of the time, it's bad filament. So if you buy the cheap shit,
Okay.
pardon the language, I'm sorry, it just comes
Okay,
out.
now we can't use it. No,
If you borrow the cheap stuff or buy the cheap stuff,
It's gonna clump up
it
and
clumps up.
Okay, so you're
There's-
getting what you pay for with this kind of thing.
Exactly. There's specific brands, like the
Do
one
we have a
I
decent
sent
one?
him. It was a good brand. Monoprice makes a good one. You can go onto Amazon and get them.
What is this, Hatchbox?
This is Hatchbox. This
Okay.
is rated pretty high. Look at the reviews on
Yeah,
Amazon.
we read everything, yeah.
Because some of the reviews you'll see won't adhere. It doesn't print properly. The only thing with this Hatchbox one, it's a lower print temperature than what I usually use. Not that that makes a difference, but you're just going to have to tweak some settings like I was telling you. All right, so now at this, what we want to do is prep the bed. And Sky, what do you think prep the bed means?
Make it so it's ready to print.
Correct. So, the way that we do that is we're going to spray.
I was going to say,
Aquanet.
get the hairspray. That
So-
stuff stinks more than anything.
What we want to do when we're prepping the bed, the first time that we're going to prep the bed, you basically spray it on, heat it up, wait till it cools down, spray it on again, heat it up, wait till it cools down. That's how you prep it.
Okay.
You want to make sure that the extruder is far enough up that it's not going to get any hairspray in it. So the first thing we're going to do, again, this extruder, think extruder Z is your Z axis. So if you hit the up button, it's going to bring that up just so that way we won't get any hairspray in any of the fans. Not that it's a big deal,
But it's
but...
gluey, sticky, remember, you
Yes.
know? The substance is not fun.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do is shake up your hairspray. Now, the first time that you do this, you want to leave enough hairspray where it pools just a little bit, but you don't want to just, make it
Running.
flooding. So,
But you are spraying the whole glass.
oh yeah. So, if you look at the glass, it's pooled. It's not full.
See it?
It's not like it's, it's not running all over the place. It's just staying there. So, what I'm going to do is start heating up the bed. So that's preheat, peel it. So now it's going to take your bed up to 85 degrees Celsius. And it's going to start taking the extruder, even though it's not going to start spitting anything out, to that temperature too. So let's just wait till it gets to 185.
And this is just to make sure you have a nicer sticky area when you're ready.
So this is it's called prepping the bed. So,
Literally.
basically, you want it as
Yeah,
sticky
good
as
sticky
possible,
surface.
so that way things will stay. First thing we're gonna do is install the software, so that way you can translate an STL image into a G code. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's pretty simple. It doesn't take a lot of time to install, and it's basically just the defaults. So it's installing this package specific to your printer. So you don't have to worry about telling it where the X, Y, and Z is, because all those files are in here already. Don't see anything on a fidget toy? Think of, what do you like? Do you like
Yeah, he likes that one.
cars?
Look,
Do you
just
like
look good. I like that middle one.
Pokemon?
That one up, right? That white with the
That
three.
one?
Yeah.
This
It's
one?
kind of
Yeah,
cool,
we
right?
do that one, yeah.
All right. So you click on it.
Wow,
you're gonna
that's-
probably have to sign up to join, but that's fine. So what you want to look here is at the top it says download all files. Download all files. So it's downloading down here.
It'll do it without us joining right now, or
Nope, you don't have to join right now.
no? Okay.
The other thing is, so there's different pieces to this print, as you can see.
Oh.
So this is your spinner. This is the tab to go in between the spinner, so that way it sits in your ball bearings, so it has your fingers to print, and then just another picture of what it looks like. So
And then he would need those silver things in the middle if we ordered them,
the
and
ball
that's where we would put the ball
I'll
bearing.
show you the site. I'll show you on eBay what
Yeah.
they're called. So now that we downloaded it, all right, we're gonna show in folder. And
And that's just a colored filament that they're showing. That
that's
blue is just a
that's
different
what
color.
Yeah.
Right, so they have red, whatever they get.
Whatever color.
Ours
So
is
we're
gonna
going
be
to want
black.
to extract this because this is a zip. So if you go to extract all, doesn't matter where you put it, it's going to be in the same place as this folder. Opens up the files. So you got your two caps and your two hand spinners. So there must have been a revision there. Let me so I did tell you to read the comments, which...
Yeah.
So first, they're using the same printer that you have. They use no raft on it, no support. They used a 20% infill.
That's
Those are
good,
the
they tell
settings
you.
that set there. All right. It says some fragilities appear after a certain amount of time, so you can try and increase more of the infill if you want.
Meaning it's a piece of crap after a while. It doesn't last forever, and
but
neither do
at
any
this
of them.
point, but at this point you have a printer that can print them non-stop if you want.
Right.
All right. The otother thing is comments. So I did tell you to look at the comments.
Yeah, you're gonna have to read, Sky.
So it said, made my first version, blah blah blah. First version, so you'll see people say, do you have a revision? When you download the file, you'll see maybe there's two files. One will say revision, one will say version 2. Version 2 is the newer version. It's kind of pretty much self-explanatory. Says that the caps don't fit, but again, at this point, we're just doing a test.
Does it tell you how long? Like, how do you learn it?
I'll show you that. Don't
Okay.
worry. So when I leave here, So only having one SD card limits you.
Yeah.
So that means that when that card is in that printer, you can't add any more cheat code to it until it's done printing. But you can download the stuff, get it prepped, so
ready.
that way it can go on there. All right. So
How many things can you
How
fit
do
on
you
the G card?
download that to there?
So I'll show you
I'll
that.
show you.
So basically, what we just did is download it off this site to your computer. That's the first part we did. All right. How many items will fit depends on the size of your
Items.
SD card.
Right.
Most of the stuff that I think I can get like 10 to 20 different items on the SD card. It all depends on what.
How much are the SD cards?
Like 20 to 30 bucks.
Okay, so you can get a couple and have them hanging.
You can get if you have two, that's fine because you can always rotate. Just
Right.
remember, always one stays in the printer as it's printing. The other one can be ready for offloading. All right, so here's where we're going to edit to the card. So what we want to do first is just zoom in. This is your print space for your printer. All right? So you want to go to load, which is saying, hey, to the computer, this is the file I want to load on there. We put it in your downloads. I think it's called, there it is, the finger toy, the fidget toy. Go to files, and I think you can select them all. Actually, let's select them all and see what happens. So what it's going to do is, there you go. So from here, you can do whatever you want. What I've learned, it's zooming in too much, I'm sorry. I'm not used to your mouse. What I've learned is, so this is to make two different ones. I'm like, we only want to make one, so let's. The computer's possessed. So let me back out because I don't know why your computer's doing that. Alright, so let's load it again. So now we know we want two caps and one of the spinner toys. Okay. So this person, when he printed it standing up. For
Wow.
a fidget toy, my suggestion is not to do that because
that's a little hard.
It's the resistance. If you notice, most of the weight's going to be on the top,
Yeah.
so it could topple.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, no? I would
So-
never do that.
At the bottom, you have three buttons. You have a rotate, you have a scale, and then you have a mirror. So let's think of this. Rotate, you're going to turn things around, upside down, whatever. Scale, you can make it bigger or smaller. Doesn't matter in this case. And then to mirror, you're just going to take this and mirror it to another side. So because this is standing up, we just want to rotate it. So you click that, and then it gives you your axes of what to rotate. So green, if you go this way, now what you want to do is rotate it so it's flat on the bed. See how I put it right there? Let me just move that out of the way.
Is it like drag? You can just drag it?
Yeah, you can drag and drop. But for some reason it keeps picking up that one.
It's going to take 4 hours and 12 minutes.
Well, we still have to change it. So, right now the base of the fidget toy is set properly. But these are not. Why does it keep doing that? So if you notice, this one's printing on that side. I noticed the best way to print with these fidget toys is to rotate it so it prints.
You don't want to do it the other way or no?
Nope, you want to print it this way because with any fidget toy that you have, you'll notice that there's texture on the top of the fidget toy.
Oh.
So you want to make sure, because it's going to build brim under it.
Yeah.
So you want the texture to be on top, so that way
so
it doesn't
like,
affect
yeah.
and you won't have to score all that
I
crap.
got it.
Because the bottom isn't, you're not going to feel it, and it's going to be scratchy or
Correct.
whatever.
It's going to be scratchy. That's exactly
He
what.
knows,
So
right.
you want to think of things like that. So now, it's going slow because it's just trying to finish adjusting what I'm
So
changing.
are all these going to be getting built at the same time?
So yeah, so what we're going to do is build all three objects at the same time.
So it'll all be separate little areas on that glass.
So just think of, like I said,
That's your face.
This is your printer base
Right, that's your
here.
base. So it's showing you could fit.
So it definitely says it can fit. I don't know why I keep zooming in on that one. That's it thinks I'm changing it. Serenity now. That's why I hate mice. I have a trackball, so we're just gonna delete this object. For some reason, it's hung up on that object. So what I'm gonna do is just load cap again. We'll load one at a time. And you know, it's like it doesn't like that cap. we're just laying it flat, different prints. So what I did so far is I took the toy that you picked out.
Yeah.
I rotated it so it's printing straight on the glass, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna save it to. I'm sorry. We're gonna go to File, Save G code. Your printer only understands G code, and which is basically telling it how hot to make your printer, where your printer ends and starts. So we're going to point this to your F drive, which is the SD card, and just save. So as you see, it's called Triskel hand spinner. It's fine. Doesn't matter what it's called. Now here it tells you how to push in. Very gentle. All right, you're not forcing it in.
Yeah.
All right, and it's still warm. Good. So now we're going to hit back. And now this means we're going to try and test print.
Yeah.
So you're going to hit print. The way the printer works is it pulls up all the names that are on the print card. Usually the newest stuff on the card will be on the top and the old stuff will be on the bottom. So if you go through it, you'll see there's your 1, 2, 3, 4 samples, your Triskel hand thing, and the cap codes. So we're going to do the caps first. So all you do is select it, and that's it. We're going to prep this real quick. Again, we're not heating the extruder. The extruder's already listing at that temperature. It's because I had it prepping as we were setting things up. So your bed's going, see, now your extruder's going up to 208 like we said. So now that, once that reaches 208, the printer's gonna, this is where you don't want to touch anything because the printer's gonna take care of itself. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna readjust itself. The plate's gonna move backwards and it's gonna come to the corner and it's gonna start spitting out some filament. And basically it's gonna try and prep itself to say, all right, do I have filament in? If I have filament, I'm gonna drop it and then it's gonna start printing.
When it feels like it?
I'm sorry.
When it feels like it?
Oh no, when this hits 208.
Oh.
Does it automatically, you see the plate moves by itself. It's gonna stop right here, lower down, and because we leveled it already, it's gonna start spitting out, it spits out, I wanna say about 1 inch to 2 inches worth of filament.
Yeah.
And it's only so that way the burn comes out properly. And you're not gonna have any, it's basically to make sure that nothing's clogged. This is where you're gonna feel free to stand up. So this is called brim. So brim is what adheres it to the building plate. So as it goes around, as you see, it builds the brim and then it'll start building up from that. So we did, I think we did, I forgot what my sentence, but maybe 10% brim. So it's gonna really adhere and then it's gonna start making some circles to do your caps. So
our caps we're doing first.
we're doing the caps first because what you're seeing is because we're building it from the top to the bottom.
cobwebby.
Because it's doing it from the top to the bottom, it's making the support for it first. So let's just see what happens. So as you see,
It's like a netting.
yeah.
It's like a nest.
So this guy, as you see, this fan kicked on. This is what's cooling down the extruder or the filament. This one's the extruder. So you'll see it'll turn on and off. That. So that is
It's the smooth part.
it's the smooth part, which is why we flipped it upside down.
Yeah.
So now, all right, Josh, it printed. What do I do next? So, scraper. That's the top side.
Yeah.
That's the bottom side. All you can use your gloves and just go under and scrape. Feel free to just
Is it alright if the...
You should
it's
hold
fine.
on to your plate after.
That's fine. So now, take it off. So at the bottom, this is what we call brim. All right, so that's the plastic part that you saw on the butterfly.
Yeah.
And now, if you remember, there's 2 nubs that should be at the bottom. So again, you're gonna peel it off. You're just gonna scrape it. You don't want to scrape too much because that nub's in there.
Yeah,
So
you can
peel
scrape
it.
it.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yes, you're always getting it.
Now,
Wow,
what
look
you'll
at this
notice
thing.
is on your circles, the inside, you
Yeah.
see how it's kind of filled in?
Yeah.
That's brim. So don't think, oh my god, it's filling in the
Oh,
circles.
okay, that's what I was
That's gonna
thinking.
all clean out.
When that comes out of your, so if you think of your fidget toy when it's there, you're just gonna put your finger right through the hole, and that brim just pops right out.
It's like all like loose straw.
Skull ring R and a skull ring W. Pull one up and see what it does. It's gonna take a second to load.
Yeah.
Just realize that. And it doesn't matter how fast your computer is.
Oh.
So you can load that, and if you want to see what the other one is, you can
Hey,
load that
would you
too.
print it like that or no? You'd lean it over?
I would print it like that, because...
And
I
so
think it's
for a
top-heavy.
ring, you may want to try printing it like that.
Okay.
And if you notice, listen, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You have to print it again.
Yeah.
If you notice that's the problem, then you just rotate it. Now with a ring, Sky's probably right to print it that way because the roughest part. I'm sorry if I have coffee.
Oh, you're right. No, I don't.
The roughest part's gonna be
the
bottom of it.
So nobody will know.
So nobody will
That's
notice
on the
it.
inside
Yeah.
of your hand here. That's perfect.
on
And
the
look, the
bottom.
design is here and everything. So
So
I'm fascinated by this 83%. Look at this sucker. This is like beyond. This is like. Hold it out. Let's see.
now what you got to do is just take this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You still have to. You could say you have to clean up some of the
Yeah, I
stuff.
still have to clean up the. Come on, what I forget what the name for it is.
The
But
B word.
the B word, yeah. But
Oh my God! You made your own spinner. Let's see. Now hold it still so we can see it. Both sides. It's very like shiny.